Hi there, Natalie with you today with a new process video for Scrapbook Nerd. And today I want to show you an idea on how to create a very simple layout, very out of what I usually do, using a Heidi Swapp, Honey and Spice collection. And I love this collection. It's available at the shop. I actually had requested Joy to get it for me just because I love the colors. And actually there's a feature of Boston Terrier, and if you guys have known my work, you guys know that I'm a mother of a Boston Terrier. So what I have done outside of the camera is I cut these frames. These are from Handipaper. My friend Ina has created them, and they're available at her shop, and I love the fact they're Polaroid. So I had this idea of creating a cluster of them and actually have a picture right just on one of them. So you're gonna see that I cut the center one a little bit bigger than the other ones. I've cut it out of a white cardstock, and the first thing I'm gonna do is I know I want to stash or want to hide one of the Polaroids kind of coming from behind the center one, the one that I cut larger. So I know that the flowers that they have on the side, I don't need them, so I'm just gonna trim them off my little Polaroid frame. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to use the paper pad, and I have the 12 by 12 paper pad. What I'm going to do right now is just going to back the cut file, and for that I'm going to pick up colors. I want to stay really in the pinks and the blushes for the flowers, and also the greens. So I picked this paper, and I love the paper because there's a lot of distress on it. And then the thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add glue behind the outline of the flower, attach it to the paper, and then I'm going to fussy cut around it. This is one of the ways that you can back a cut file. Also, you can also use a pencil to draw the outline, and then you just can fussy cut around it. You won't have to have to glue it and careful. You just kind of create a template with your outline. You can also create it on the canvas. It's a little bit more complicated, but it's doable. I just enjoy this. I had the afternoon free, so I just spend my time doing this. I don't mind it. I love how this turned out. So you're gonna see that I'm just gonna continue working. I'm gonna take it in and out of the camera. I just want to show you a little bit of how I build my my Polaroid frames in this case, and how I back the flowers. And I really love this paper that has all the colors. So I'm going to pick up some of the colors from it to back the flowers. Now, to back the Polaroids, you're going to see that I did not throw the negative parts. That means the parts that came, that form the outside of the frame. And the reason that I didn't throw them is because I'm going to use them to help me center the frame, especially because it's such a fine frame. So all I'm doing right now is just adding glue to the outline that I cut of the Polaroid, and then I'm going to use this gray paper. There's a few gray papers in the collection, and these are the ones that I'm going to use to back the Polaroid. So you're going to see that I'm put my die cut on the paper, and then I'm going to bring the negative part just to make sure that everything is centered and straight. Even though it's a little bit crooked at the end, you're going to see there's some lines that are not completely straight, but it's better than just having flimsy frames. Having a negative piece, it just helps you center everything and keep everything nice and straight. So you're going to see that I'm going to just use this, I'm going to put the negative piece of the Polaroid just to help me move the lines. I'm going to glue everything in place, cut around the frame, just to the same thing as I did before, kind of fussy cut around the frame. But then I want to have the inside of the Polaroids empty. Usually I use an X-Acto knife. Mine broke, so all I'm going to do is kind of pretty much punch a hole with the scissors right in the center of the Polaroid, and then just go around the frame just to kind of hollow the Polaroid frame. And once I have that, I'm gonna continue working on the other ones, and you're gonna see that, like I said, all my Polaroid frames are gray. There's a few papers that have tones of gray, and I really wanted that because it makes the flowers stand out. So all I'm doing right now is just playing with what everything is gonna kind of form in my background. And then I'm gonna bring a picture of my daughter. I had a few that I was debating which one to use, and I went with a black and white just because I think first of all I want to use a non-white background, so the black and white is gonna stand out. And I really love this picture of her. This picture of her on Halloween, and that's her costume. That flower on her head, that was her costume. So once again, I'm just gonna add some glue behind the Polaroid and just glue it right onto the picture and fussy cut it so that it fits inside of it. And then you're gonna see that I'm bringing this paper. This is one of the collections. Like I said, I'm not going with a white background, and I missed a little part of the beginning of this. I thought I was filming, but I didn't. So all I'm doing is adding a little bit of white acrylic paint. This is just white paint that I have on my stash. I am using a synthetic bristle water brush, and I just want something a little bit sturdier because I want want to create a feathering effect on my paper. You're gonna see that I'm kind of hasting the entire area, but what I did is I just put the frames on the paper, marked more or less the idea where I have them, and I'm just gonna add the white to the top. I don't want it to, you're gonna see that I'm not making completely white. I'm just adding really light brush strokes so that it creates kind of a fog, a kind of haze on the paper. You're still gonna see the background, but it's just gonna look like a small cloud on top of it. So you're gonna see that I bring the frames right now and kind of set them in place, making sure that the white area that I'm gonna create is gonna come behind the frames, not cover the entire paper. So once I have that in place, I'm gonna set it aside to dry. It takes no time to dry because it's such a light application, and I'm just going really lightly and like I said, kind of feathering on the paper, that it takes it took me like 5 minutes to dry this up. Once you're gonna see that I have that in place, my next thing was, what am I gonna back the Polaroid frames with, the empty ones. I debated between backing them with some tags, because the collection has some tags in them. I had a few ideas, and then I chose this collection comes with a vellum paper that has this beautiful floral pattern in like a foil, in a rose gold foil, kind of a copper tone. I loved it. So you're gonna see that I'm actually gonna pick one of the little stems, the top of the paper, just to create a little scene. Not a scene, it's gonna pop in the Polaroid in the background in one of them, and then on the other one I'm just gonna make it with the top of the vellum where it's completely white. And you're gonna see again, I'm just adding a little bit of glue behind my frame, glue it onto the Polaroid, onto the vellum, sorry, and then just fussy cut around it, because I just want that little peeking of the flower kind of situation in that frame. And then the other one, I'm just gonna make it plain white. Once I have that in place, I'm gonna go ahead and actually put this together. You saw that I added a foam adhesive behind the picture, just because I want to create a little bit of lift. I want to make sure that the picture is the one that stands out. So once I glue it in place, I'm gonna bring the first frame, the one that I added that piece of vellum with the florals on it, and I'm gonna put it towards the left of the picture, kind of hanging off, a little bit crooked. I don't want it to be straight, I just want the picture to be straight, and the other ones are going to be a little bit on the slant. Once I glue that in place, I'm going to add a little bit of foam adhesive behind it just to give it a little bit of a lift. And the other frame, I'm going to put it's going to form a soft diagonal, kind of a soft arch on towards the right of the page. So you're going to see that it forms, like I said, a soft diagonal. Once I put them in place, I realized that they were a little bit off. They were not right on the center. So my choice, and I was thinking about framing these anyways, so I'm going to trim the paper so that I can center the frames. You're going to see that I take a little bit off the top, I'm gonna take a little bit off the bottom, and I'm gonna take quite a bit of the right of the page, because the left is fine but the right's a bit too, there was a lot of space on the right. So I'm gonna take some of that, and then I went into the paper pad and found this black and white paper. It's a really soft pattern, so I'm gonna cut a frame around a 1.5 inch, and I'm gonna glue the piece of paper right onto it, not a piece of paper, my layer right onto it, so that it is centered. And I love the fact that you see the frame peeking out, because I added that all that mixed media to the paper. It didn't fold that much, but there's a little bit of a fold on the paper, so it looks really nice when you put it on the background. It looks like a different layer. I love how that turned out. And you're gonna see that I creased the edges a little bit. All I have to do right now is decorate. I found another in this is the ephemera pack. There's a few flowers that are also on vellum, so I pulled one of them, and then I went and fussy cut a few leaves from the vellum, the specialty paper, and then I found these vellum pieces that said hello and beautiful, so that's gonna be my title. The way I'm attaching this so that you don't see it is I'm actually using glue dots behind it a little bit. Some of them have dimensional ones, so they're a little bit there's a bit of a lift. And to glue the beautiful, I actually cut little pieces of a foam adhesive and I attach them right behind the letters so you won't see them. Once I have that in place, all I have to do is actually embellish, and for that I'm going to use pieces from the collection. I actually have the ephemera pack, the tags, and the cardstock stickers. Lots to do to use to decorate. You're going to see I'm going to add something small to each one of the frames. I don't want to add much because I think the flower is doing a lot of work, so I'm just adding little phrase. They're also most of them are made out of vellum, so I just wanted that texture added to it. it. And then what I'm gonna do at the end is I'm gonna add some stars, because I know I wanna create something that just repeats to bring my triangle together. I also added that label. I cut it in half just to bulk it up, because I think the right hand side of the page is really a little bit more heavier. So by adding that little circular frame or the circular sticker, just kind of repeats the circular item that I have on the right, and also makes it a little bit heavier, so it balances out. And then I'm adding my lines with journal right underneath the title. I'm gonna bring those little star sequence. I have them from a previous collection from Pink Paisley. I just had it in my stash. Once I have that ready, you're gonna see that I added like I said, my lines of journal right in the title using white pen. And then all I'm doing right now is diluting some of the white paint that I used and just splattering a little bit around the page. And what you don't see on the camera is that I also added a little bit of copper color shine that I had on my stash, and that's about it. I love how this turned out. Very simple. It took me very little time to put together, even though it was late and during the day while I was working on this. Love how this turned out. Everything that I use you can find at Scrapbook Nerd. Jo was really nice at getting this collection. I really requested it from her, but I know it's available at the shop. Make sure you check it out. Like I said, the cut file is from Handipaper. You can find it on Etsy. You can find it on Instagram. My friend Ina has beautiful cut files. As always, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. I would love to help you. Thank you so much for joining me, and I really hope to see you soon. Don't forget to check the stuff. Take care, guys.